Welcome to the Blogger Genius Podcast, brought to you by Milo. Here's your host, Jillian Leslie.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Blogger Genius. It is a beautiful day today in Austin, which puts me in such a good mood. I'm going to be at the Mom 2.0 conference in a couple weeks, which is in Austin. If anybody is going and you want to connect, just reach out to me at jillian@milotree.com or on social media. I would love to meet you. Okay, for today's episode, I have my very good friend, Alisa Meredith, back on the show. Alisa is a Pinterest consultant. She's a strategist. And if you use Tailwind, you will know her as the content marketing manager there. Today, we are talking about spamming on Pinterest and how not to get your account flagged as a spam account, because that would not be a good thing. We talk about the things that Pinterest has come out and said. We talk about what to do if your account gets flagged. We're also going to talk a little bit about video on Pinterest and even some new ways to advertise on Pinterest. I think you're going to really like this. If Pinterest is important to your business, this is a really good episode. So without further ado, here is Alisa Meredith. Alisa, welcome back to the show.
Hey, Jillian. Thanks for having me back.
It is so great. I just love these talks where we can go kind of nerd out about Pinterest.
Me too. We already got our hair conversation done. So,
right.
Yeah.
So I won't put that in the interview so that we did that offline before. But just so you know, Alisa is my hair go-to person for curly hair, and she's actually solved my problems. So thank you.
That's going on LinkedIn after this.
Okay, good. Yes, you've got many. I'm going to
endorse me.
Endorse you. Yes, for hair advice. There you go.
Great.
All right. So let's talk about this idea of spam on Pinterest. And what is spam on Pinterest? And how do you keep yourself safe?
Yeah, big topic, right?
Yes, everybody's talking about this.
Yeah, so I think it's important to consider, well, why is this an issue, right? So why are people concerned about it?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, so I think part of the problem is that some people have been suspended for spam.
Right.
And sometimes it's warranted, sometimes it's not. I mean,
right.
It's a big platform. It's hard to get it all right all the time. But yeah, people want to know, what do I need to do to stay out of trouble? So Pinterest has shared on their website 5 different behaviors that could be kind of interpreted as spam.
Mm-hmm.
So do you want to go through each of them?
Yeah, let's go through. I mean, I know some of them seem obvious, like porn. Don't put porn up. Don't do stuff like that.
Yes, that one should be obvious. However, there are other forms of content that are also disallowed.
Okay.
So porn, violence, self-harm, hate speech, disinformation, which, by the way, they are pretty sensitive to things like anti-vaccination campaigns or health claims, like, for instance, that chiropractic can cure cancer, right?
Got it. Yes. Yes.
So they know if you're sharing stuff like that, and that can get you in trouble.
Like even things like essential oil, like I know that essential oils can get kind of touchy in terms of claims.
Yeah,
things
exactly.
like that.
And that's the point of it, right? It's not like you can't talk about essential oils. You just have to be careful what you're claiming they can do.
Okay. So you can't say like essential oils cure autism.
Right.
Okay.
That's right.
Okay. Yeah. So no false claims, no porn, no self-harm. Got it. No violence.
Right. I mean, just be reasonable.
Right. And I mean, again, those seem like easy. Like, those are not the things that I would be pinning, or I think, my audience would be pinning.
Yeah, right.
But then there are some grayer areas.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's another one that's pretty blatant, and that is sharing or stealing pins.
Okay. Yes.
Right. So if you take someone's image off of Pinterest and then you link it to your own content.
Yep. And that's happened to Catch My Party, and we've had to we've had to let Pinterest know that was happening.
Oh, yeah. And yeah, that has happened to most of us, I would say.
Yes.
And they're really trying to crack down on that. So something that can happen is that you could accidentally be sharing a stolen pin.
Right.
So it is important to check your links before you share content on Pinterest, because you could just accidentally be contributing to that problem.
So I see a pin on Pinterest that looks good, and I just, pin it to one of my boards, and I don't click through to see where it's linking.
Yeah. Yeah, I know that's easy to do, and I think we probably have all done it many times.
Which is, you mean not click through, or?
Right, not clicking through. Like,
Okay.
I'm going to save this and read it later, and we don't click through to make sure that this is actually going where we think it's going.
Right.
But yeah, always be checking links. So Tailwind tribes, and yeah, I'm on the Tailwind team, just for full disclosure. But those are a great way to share content to Pinterest from people that you know.
Yes.
So of course it depends on the tribe, right? You could be in a tribe with 1,000 people and not know everyone, and any tool is subject to people who want to use it in a bad way.
Right. Right.
But if you have a tribe of people whose content you know and trust, that
Right.
can save you some time on checking links. But otherwise, you really do need to check your links.
Yes. Yes. Because I have sometimes clicked through on a pin and been ended up on some random, like spammy site that had nothing to do with the pin.
Oh, I know. It's very disappointing, right? Especially if you saved it for later and you think, I'm going to come back and buy this later, and you're ready to do it, and you go, and it's not what you thought it was.
Right.
Something Pinterest has done now to try to filter that out is, especially if you're on mobile, it will pop up, did you find what you were looking for? Mm-hmm. A little button, and you can say yes or no, and that will help them to surface that legitimate content higher.
Got it. Okay. Anything else that we need to know about?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, lots of stuff. So something they call unnaturally high volume behaviors.
Ooh.
So I got in a little trouble for this just the other week because something funny was happening with my browser, and I was trying to log in, and it kept putting in the wrong username, and it was something funny like that. But I got locked out for 30 minutes.
Really?
Because I was trying to log in, and it wasn't going right, and I got locked out.
So it was thinking somebody was trying to get into your account. That wasn't you?
Or it was a bot.
Okay.
Thinking it was a bot activity, which, they don't want that. So things like that, commenting on pins in too quick succession, following too many pinners in a short period of time, even saving a ton of pins from the same website really quickly.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So they're looking for unnatural behavior.
Right. Something a real user wouldn't do. And again, if those behaviors get you blocked, usually it's a temporary block.
Okay.
Yeah, not a permanent one, but you still don't want to do it.
Got it. Okay. And do they have any other rules in their rule book?
Yes.
Okay.
So saving, we talked about stealing pins, but also saving pins that lead to unrelated content, which is very related to stealing pins. But it could be that you have your own image that's of a cute little puppy dog, but you link it to your blog post about how to start a podcast. That's just
Yep.
That's deceptive, and it's not good user experience. So Pinterest does not want that. The last one is overly repetitive pinning.
Okay.
So saving, and this is the one that in this blog post has gotten probably the most attention from people wondering, well, what does this really mean? Okay, so overly repetitive pinning is...
Wait, I just have to say, I wrote this note.
Yeah.
How repetitive is too repetitive? What does that...
Well, yeah, they're never going to come out and say exactly.
Okay.
Put 5 hours or 5 days or 5 weeks. They're not going to do that because what will people do? They will find a way to game the system.
Definitely. Okay.
Yeah.
So based on your experience and your expertise, what is your take?
Okay, I think it's first important to understand what this means. So a lot of people had questions about, okay, but what if I have this one new piece of content, but I have 15 boards it can fit on? Am I going to get in trouble if I share it to all these boards within, say, a week's time?
Okay.
Well, The only issue that we have insight on and that Pinterest has really shared is that that of sharing the same pin to the same board.
Oh, okay.
Because they do want all your relevant content going to all of your relevant boards because
Got
that
it.
helps them determine how to distribute your content. But what we're talking about here and what creates like a bad experience for your followers is to be sharing the same pin to the same board too often.
Got it. Okay, so let's say, okay, so something that does really well for Catch My Party is baby shower content, right?
Okay.
So so let's say we do a blog post of like pink baby shower decorations,
Okay.
and we make a pretty pin. And I want to share it to our baby shower board, and I want to share it to our girl baby shower board, and I want to share it to our pink party ideas board, and I want to share it to party decorations and all of that stuff. I can do that, right?
Yes.
And Pinterest is not going to
absolutely.
be mad.
Correct.
Do I need
So-
to be mindful of how quickly I'm sharing it to all? And it is, by the way, it's relevant. Like I'm not sharing it
Right,
to
right.
something, to, I don't know, beards. I don't have a board on beards, or like beard
What
trimming.
if you did? Yeah.
Okay, so like it's not going there. So therefore, that is okay.
That is okay. So what a lot of people do if they use Tailwind is use interval pinning.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what I'll do a lot of times too. So I'll pick every board that it needs to go out to, and I'll just set an interval of, I go back and forth on this. So people say, "What's a good interval
Yes, I
for
was
this
just
sort of
going to
thing?"
ask that.
I mean, I don't have a magic answer for that. I go back and forth between like 1 day, 3 days, maybe 5 days. But I think if you think about if someone was looking over your shoulder,
Right?
like let's assume that your followers are using the following tab, which Pinterest indicates that there is quite a bit of activity in that tab.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, so let's say that they're looking at this following feed. Are they going to feel like it's spammy?
Right.
Whatever you choose for a frequency, and of course that's also going to depend on what else you're pinning.
Right.
So if I'm only pinning this one pin
Right.
to those 5 boards, that means 5 pins in a row of mine are going to be the same pin. That probably is not ideal,
Yep.
right? But if it's 5 pins over the same 5 days, but there are 10 other pins in between,
Right.
that's a more authentic kind of experience.
What's interesting about this and what you're sharing is there are, aside from like don't share porn and self-harm and stuff like that, it's nuanced.
Yeah. Yeah, and it really, if you can honestly say, if someone was standing over my shoulder watching my pins go out and it didn't look spammy to them, then you're probably okay.
Okay, that's really good. That's very helpful. And I think also that you're not exactly, there is no magic bullet about intervals.
Right. There isn't.
So you have
I
to
know we
kind of,
like them, but we don't have one.
right. And again, it's like finding what feels right for you, for your audience. And if you have a ton of content, then I could share that, pink baby shower party decorations pin more often if I've got other pins going out. Whereas if that's all I've got, I have to be more aware of how that can be received.
Exactly. So you know how you can have your cover photo on your profile now, and you can have it show many different options, but I like to show the one that's like my activity, so my recent pins.
Oh, that's good. I know.
Right? So
Yeah.
if you look at your cover photo of your recent pins and it's too repetitive, then probably that's an indicator that you need to change your strategy.
That's a good kind of heuristic.
Yeah.
I like that.
Okay, cool.
That's very cool. So now what about the idea of volume of pins? So we at Catch My Party, we've got tons of pins and we pin a lot. And what kind of is the rumor on the street about that?
Well, there was a study quite a while back that showed diminishing returns after 50 pins. But
Pins per day.
Pins per day.
Okay.
But things change so fast, and I think the most important numbers are your own numbers, right? So running those tests and figuring it out. The thing where I think people get into trouble is where they hear, I have to pin 50 times a day. So they're pinning any old thing.
Right?
And spending more time on that than they are creating their own content to share.
Interesting. Okay. Okay. So like they're going, well, I got to fill up this queue. So let's pin, it's a fun, if you don't have a lot of pins, you're just going to kind of keep recycling the same pin.
You might keep recycling your own pin. You might share a ton of other people's content, which there's nothing wrong with sharing other people's content, but the biggest benefit you're going to get on Pinterest is from sharing your own content.
And the thing that seems to be the message that I'm getting from you guys at Tailwind and stuff like that is the best practice is to be making new pins.
Yes.
So it's not just taking the same pin, changing up the description or the hashtags. It is taking, going to PicMonkey and making a new collage. It could be based on the same photos, but something about it is a different image.
Yes, exactly. So, and I know this one caused some discussion as well, but yeah, it was about a year ago when Pinterest, in an interview, said you can change up the description and hashtags for an added SEO or distribution benefit. But that's changed now, right? And it makes sense because Pinterest is a visual platform. You don't see much of the description anyway.
Right.
So from a user perspective, the part that's new is the image.
Right. Right. Absolutely. Yeah. It's seeing that same image over and over again. So, my thought is when you're creating content, take extra photos. And have them not necessarily, you can put them in the post or not, but have a storehouse of them so that you can recycle. One thing that I keep learning is to take your old content, your old posts, and updating those posts for SEO, for Google and for Pinterest. You want to update the information in that post so that Google sees it as fresh content. And one of the best ways to do that is to add some new images. Are you a blogger or entrepreneur whose traffic is taking a hit due to those ever-changing social media algorithms? Have you heard that the real money's in your email list, but you don't know how to increase your subscribers? Do you feel overwhelmed trying to grow your social media followers and trying to be in all places all the time? If any of that describes you, I want to share a tool that will increase your social media followers, grow your email list, and bring in more traffic to your site. It's called Milo Tree. Milo Tree is an app that my husband David built for our site, Catch My Party. When we began Catch My Party back in 2009, Facebook was sending us loads of traffic and we were growing like crazy. Well, that is until a sudden algorithm change had us scrambling. We knew that Pinterest was the best place to get more traffic, and so in 2015, David built a pop-up to grow our Pinterest followers, knowing that more followers equals more traffic. It worked immediately. In the 4 years that we've been using the Milo Tree app on Catch My Party, our Pinterest account has grown exponentially to over 1.1 million followers, and Pinterest now drives millions of page views to our site every single month. In 2016, we rolled out the Milo Tree app to help other online entrepreneurs just like you. And we expanded it to help you not only grow your Pinterest followers, but also your followers on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. It'll grow your sales on Shopify and Etsy, and it will even grow your email list. Milo Tree is easy to use. It can be installed in under 2 minutes with zero design or technical skills. And as fellow online entrepreneurs, we understand the importance of site speed and staying in Google's good graces, so Milo Tree is lightning fast and Google friendly. The Milo Tree app is also customizable. You can focus on growing one platform at a time or switch between several. We also provide you with analytics to help you choose which platforms to focus on. Right now, you can get your first 30 days for free. Just go to milotree.com to sign up for your free trial today. And don't let anybody tell you that traffic doesn't matter. It matters a lot. Whether you want to work with a premium ad company, go after larger brand sponsorships, or simply have more people to market your own products to, your traffic must be growing. If you aren't converting your visitors into followers, subscribers, and customers, you need to change your strategy. and Milo Tree will get you the results you need. But it can't help you unless you add it to your site. So take the first step today and head over to milotree.com and start your free 30-day trial. There are no contracts and you can cancel anytime. As a bonus, once you sign up, I'll send you valuable business tips each week to help you continue to grow your business. You can't be everywhere all the time. Let Milo Tree work for you. It's fast, it's easy, and it gets results. So what are you waiting for? Get your free trial today. Go to milotree.com.
I've had a couple of people ask too about, well, what is it that Pinterest is looking at? Like if I had 100 different images called img451.jpg, does Pinterest say, ooh, that's the same image, that's bad? No, it's not about the file name at all.
Okay.
How they determine it, I mean, I would probably be guessing to say so, but no, it's not about the file name. It's actually a different image, different picture, different text.
Don't they have AIs that they can say this is not the same?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep. They know what the pictures are better than I do, probably.
Right. So they're really smart.
Yeah, really smart.
Okay. So that seems to be the theme, which is you want more content, more images. You want, so when you're doing that recipe post, take more photos, take them from different angles. And you can either, and I have also, by the way, heard that you do not want to stack. Let's say you've got, your chocolate chip cookie recipe and you've got photos and they are just slightly different, but they're both beautiful. And you want to put them both in the post because you want to just, you're so proud of your photography and how delicious these cookies look, that you don't want to stuff all of those images in the post. Because for Google, Google's also thinking about their the experience for the user on Google, to find this, that, especially if people are going to your chocolate chip cookie recipe on mobile, that they're going to have to scroll through all of those photos. So you might want to save those photos so that you can use them as pins later, but you don't necessarily have to stack your post with 15 different photos that are kind of all the same.
Right, but you do want to give people the option to save those to Pinterest.
Yes.
Yeah. So there are plugins that will allow you to kind of hide images in your post. It's not a sneaky thing to do. It's really a great option to create more variety. Right.
And that way but I would say that yes, you want to give people that option. However, I'm just, from personal experience and also stuff that I've read, you also don't necessarily want to overload your visitor or pinner with so many options that they get kind of paralyzed and don't do anything.
Yeah, that's a good point. And another thing to consider is that Pinterest does read the text on your images. So you prefer to have people pin the one with the text on it.
Got it. So therefore, right. So the one that has the description and hashtags and things like that is more valuable to you.
Yep.
And to your account.
Right. But like you said, save them all to Pinterest, because if you think about what Pinterest wants, they want to be this visual search and discovery and inspiration engine that people want to come back to every day.
Right.
So if they can provide fresh content for every time you come back or for every search you enter, then that makes a great experience for the users. So if you can arrange your content strategy to play into that, then you'll be rewarded.
I think that's so powerful. It is put yourself in the position of Pinterest. And think
or
about,
even in the position of Pinterest users. Like, you're a Pinterest user. Like, what do you want to see?
Yep. Absolutely. And it's funny because as a content creator, sometimes we lose sight of the fact that what is it like? Is it, so we're redoing our bathrooms. And so I have this whole other experience where I am on Pinterest multiple times a day looking at bathrooms, which has nothing to do with parties, so it's like I am a totally different person using, and it's been really insightful to be using Pinterest as a Pinterest user instead of a content creator.
Yeah. And I tend to use Pinterest mostly when I have a project like that as well, which I have a lot of now, having just moved. And you're right. It absolutely does put you in a different headspace, which I think is very helpful to get out of marketing think.
Totally. And also because it's so different, I really am coming at it fresh.
Yeah.
I'm not looking at like, well, what are other people doing with party ideas, or what, let's do that. Like I'm in a totally different realm.
Right.
And it's been very eye-opening to go how frustrated I get when I click on a pin and it leads me to some bad content, for example.
Oh, yeah.
And to have that experience and be like, oh, this sucks. Versus I see a beautiful pin and I go directly to where I can buy that thing. And I'm like, oh, this is awesome. Or a beautiful article, a post that gives me insight into like what is encaustic tile. It's like, I don't, somebody's done the research and now, I can learn. And so it is very interesting. Now, what happens if your account is flagged as spam? What do you do? And can you get it back?
Yeah, you can. So sometimes it is a mistake, right? But you can email them. So you go into the help pages.
Okay.
And there's an option to to say I was suspended and want it to be reviewed.
And typically, if you haven't done anything nefarious,
yep.
Are they typically reasonable and you'll get your account back and it will be okay?
Yeah, I mean, I've heard of people saying, "Oh, it's been going on for weeks," but I don't really know what were they pinning.
Okay.
Okay. So I can't really speak to that. They have no interest in shutting down legitimate accounts. Right. So, I mean, if you're really pinning well and it was just a mistake, they're going to reinstate you.
Got it. Okay. Could we touch on video?
Yeah, sure.
Tell me your thoughts on video. I know that Pinterest is really pushing video right now, it seems.
Yeah.
And what are you seeing?
So I don't know about you, but I am seeing video show up on top of other search results right now.
Okay.
So that, kind of supports what you're saying about they really want it to take off. I have tried a couple of videos. I mean, so very little strategy going behind this, mostly just a test. I wanted to see what happened. Yeah. And I found that they got a lot more clicks right away than my static pins.
Okay.
Or not clicks, rather. I'm sorry.
Impressions.
Views. Impressions. Okay. But very few clicks. Then it dropped off really quickly. So you can see, information on your pin. You can see last 30 days, last 2 weeks, last week. And so it was real strong at first, and then it trailed off. And that could very well be my fault because it wasn't a great video, right? It was just a test.
Okay.
But it looks to me like they're giving them a bit of a boost when they first come out, like a brand new one.
Okay.
Not a lot of clicks, but I don't know. I mean, I feel like awareness is good. And if you create the right kind of video that it teases something, it may well cause people to click through.
Okay. Because that's what I've heard too, which is you're going to get a lot of views.
Yeah.
But it's not necessarily driving you to traffic. And therefore, how do you create a video that's more of a teaser that will push the person to say, oh, I need that recipe, or I need that, I need to know more.
Right. Well, I mean, I think with recipes, it's probably pretty easy only because they're not going to take the video to the kitchen with them and watch it and pause it as they're making it.
Yes.
So and then the same thing like with Catch My Party. Like if you wanted to show someone how to make a certain party favor, they're not going to bring the video to the craft table.
Right.
They want that printout.
Right. Or take the video to Michael's. Yeah. No, I think that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to watch how video continues. And I know that Pinterest has wanted to be doing video for a long time. Right.
And interestingly, so video ads have been out for a while.
Okay.
But there's a brand new kind of video ad, which I haven't tried yet. It's called performance video.
Okay.
Where you pay just for clicks.
Oh, okay. That's good.
Yeah, it is good.
And, yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like when things come out in ads, it makes you wonder, are they looking at how to do the same sort of thing for organic? I don't really know. I'm just guessing, but
right.
I just thought that was interesting.
And let's talk about ads. Since you are the ad expert, Alisa is always my ad expert. I work with her on our Pinterest ads, and she's incredibly helpful. So if you're thinking about Pinterest ads, she is your girl. But can you talk about what's going on in the landscape of Pinterest ads? I think there's some new formats that you mentioned. So tell me, like, what's exciting you about Pinterest ads right now?
Well, conversion ads are very cool. Have you tried any of those campaigns?
No.
No. Okay. So conversion ads only work if you can set up your event tracking.
Yep, which we have.
So, okay, yep. So if you're on like an Etsy or Teachers Pay Teachers, you probably can't do it unless you have your own blog and cart. But basically what it will allow you to do is say, okay, Pinterest, an email sign up is worth $3 to me. Go out and get me email signups for $3.
Great. Yeah.
Yeah. So they will go out and get email signups for $3. And you can set that attribution window. And something new that they have just added is you can set the attribution window to, okay, I only want to count within 1 day of a click. I'm not even going to talk to you about impressions or engagements. I just want to know that within 1 day of clicking on my ad, they became a new email sign up.
And then do you pay per conversion?
No, you pay per
click?
impression.
Per impression. Okay.
Yeah. So because of that, you have to like kind of go all in on it, because it can take a while for them to figure it out. So they recommend you go several weeks to let them figure out how to get it for you, which I know is really hard to do.
I know. Okay. Yeah.
Right. But you can also, another recommendation from them is to give at least 3 conversions worth of budget for the day. So if in my example, I say email sign up was worth $3, then my daily budget needs to be at least 9.
Okay.
So that they have room to figure it out.
But explain that to me. So if you're paying for impressions,
Mm-hmm.
but yet I'm saying that an email sign up is worth $3.
Mm-hmm. I know.
How does that work?
How it works is Pinterest is doing its best to get that to happen, but it may not happen right away.
Okay. But
Right, so
they're trying to optimize for $3 per conversion.
Exactly. That's very well put. Thank you.
Okay, but you're not. And they're seeing the conversion, but you're paying for impressions.
Yes.
But they're trying
while
to
they figure it out.
While they figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah,
Got
but they
it.
are good at figuring this stuff out. The other cool thing is that you can get really cheap clicks this way sometimes.
Okay.
Not always, but sometimes.
Okay.
So
because they want the clicks so they can figure out the conversion?
I think it's more like if you have a high click-through rate on your ad, you're just going to get more conversions because you're getting all those impressions.
Got it. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to have to talk about this offline. Okay, that sounds really interesting.
So it can be a little bit of a workaround if your cost per click is really high on other ads, and it's all going to depend on your niche. I've also heard from the Pinterest ad rep I work with that it's better for e-commerce than other products.
Got it.
But like anybody can do it for email signups.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, because we've as you know, we're experimenting with Pinterest ads for Milo Tree, and so we want sales.
Right.
So therefore, do you think that is a good market for trying out these ads, these conversion ads?
I feel a lot better about them having that option to do the 1-1-0-0 attribution, where we're kind of telling Pinterest, okay, you have 1 day to turn this click into a conversion.
Got it.
I think, because the other options were a little harder to attribute.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, and is there anything else that's new in ads that we should know about?
The dashboard?
Ooh, is it better? I haven't checked it in a couple of weeks.
Oh my goodness. Every time I go in there, I feel like I'm getting presents.
Oh.
So, and it's not everybody has all of them yet. And it looks like I'm looking at mine right now and it's a little different. But they've made it easier to spot like your keyword tab because you can bid per keyword.
Okay.
And And if you're tracking signups and checkouts, you can see which keywords are contributing to your sales or your
Ooh.
email signups. So you can bid per keyword. So if the word baby shower planning gets you great conversions, you're going to up your bid on just that keyword in that ad group. But it's a little hard to see in some of the dashboard layouts. So I guess they were playing with one last week. I don't see it now.
Oh, how funny. Yes.
But it looked pretty cool, and maybe it will come back, I hope. But it was all on the left-hand side where you could navigate between like campaign, ad group, ad, and keyword level. So you
Okay.
could get to the data you want. But the other cool thing is that you can create your own dashboard.
Yes, you set that up for me. Yes.
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 You have so much time because once you figure out what's important to you, that's all you really want to look at most of the
Right.
time.
Right. I used to have to go digging for information and you're like, here, let's put this here and this here. And I'm like, okay. And that's all I check.
Time saver. I love it so much.
Oh, that is great. Okay. And if anybody is wanting to dig in to Pinterest ads, you and I recorded another episode where we really walked through the different types of ads. So I'm going to link to that episode. So definitely check it out because we're talking about this before we started recording. There's real opportunity. I mean, I kind of want to whisper this because I don't want everybody to know because everybody will jump in and then it will make the ads more expensive.
Yeah.
But will you share though, like the different, like what do you see in terms of people who are Facebook marketers moving over to Pinterest? So anybody listening to this, keep it on the down low.
Exactly. Yeah. So I feel like when I talk to Facebook advertisers, they have these light bulb moments and they get really excited. And I think part of it is one of my favorite features of Pinterest advertising options is act-alike audiences.
Mm.
Yeah. So if you find, Jillian, that your email list converts really well to customers,
Right.
But after a while, you kind of exhaust that audience. You can try to refresh it with new creative, new offers. But if you just want to expand that audience, you can do an act-alike. And so whereas Facebook will look at like other pages that people like, demographics of people, which is great, what Pinterest actually does is look at people's behavior.
Okay.
So they're going to find people who act like people on your email list.
Ooh,
And
interesting.
target those. So that's kind of a cool one. The other thing is that even though all of the Pinterest ads now are one tap, meaning you don't get that in between step where people opt in to click to go to your website before you pay for the click. So, I mean, I saw a big increase in cost per conversion from people who didn't know us. So like keyword targeted ads,
Right.
had a big jump at first. It's gone down, so it's gotten more affordable again.
Okay.
And I still think that if you compare what you're paying to target those people on Pinterest with what you're paying on Facebook, you're probably going to come out okay.
Yeah.
So, but then as you move down, like to retargeting,
Yeah.
yeah, it's probably going to be a lot cheaper.
On Pinterest.
Yeah, on Pinterest. Just because there are less people who figured it out, so don't tell anybody.
Exactly. Okay, this is all, everybody who's listening to this, keep it as a secret. But definitely, if you sell something or if you want to grow your email list, like you have to have a very specific reason to be advertising on Pinterest, or to be advertising online. But it is definitely worth checking out the first episode that you and I recorded where you walked through different types of opportunities on Pinterest. And right now for Milo Tree, Pinterest is the only platform we're advertising on.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, because it has been cost effective for us.
Right.
So definitely, check that out. So Lisa, how can people reach out to you and learn more and follow you and read your stuff on Tailwind, all of that?
Yeah. So there's a Tailwind blog, which is blog.tailwindapp.com. And highly recommend checking that out.
That's where I learn most of my stuff for Pinterest.
Oh, yay.
It's awesome.
Thank you. And then also alisameredith.com is where I blog about Pinterest advertising.
Perfect. Yeah. And if you're in, definitely she is your person. Like she is, I think you were just at Social Media Marketing World,
Oh, yeah.
which is, the conference. Like if you're invited, I keep trying to get to speak at it. And so far it has not worked, but you've been speaking at it for years as the Pinterest ads expert.
And this year, like we were saying before, is there were a lot more people in the audience, and many of them were Facebook advertisers. So I feel kind of excited for Pinterest. But this is like, get into it now.
Get into it
before
now.
everybody figures it out.
Yes, absolutely. And bids up the price. Well,
Right.
Alisa, thank you so, as always, And by the way, Alisa is my friend IRL. And
Right.
she is just like my go-to person. She's an awesome person. So definitely follow her and see what she's up to. So Alisa, thank you so much for being back on the show.
Thank you. Let's do it again soon.
I hope you guys like this episode. Remember, if you're trying to get more traffic from Pinterest, what you need is more Pinterest followers. And the best way to do that is with Milo Tree. So act now. Go right now to milotree.com. Sign up. It takes 2 minutes and get your first 30 days free and start growing those Pinterest followers effortlessly.